Coming to paperback and e-readers, ISIS Legacy. The sorority secrets from the goddess next door are revealed in this all-new ISIS series adventure. Pre-order your copy of ISIS Legacy on Amazon.com today. Commissioner Adam Silver recently criticized New York Mayor Eric Adams, saying that his jab mandate is not making much sense. Now, your Adam Silver is in a bind because one of the teams that plays here in New York, the Brooklyn Nets, is looking like it's trying to go to the playoffs, and one of the things that's keeping the NBA from generating a lot of revenue as related to the NBA playoffs is this jab mandate that continues to remain in place here in New York City. Now, last year, when your Bill de Blasio was in the final term of his as being mayor of New York, he instituted a jab mandate here, insisting that anybody who wanted to go into an indoor venue had to be vaccinated. And he further escalated that by insisting that anyone who even wanted to work here in New York City had to be vaccinated. And your Eric Adams could have not even enforced these policies. However, as your Eric Adams was inaugurated as mayor, because he was looking to gain favor with Bill de Blasio and those on the left, he then went out here and signed this policy back into place. And as a result of Eric Adams signing this policy back into place with a unilateral executive order, this is one of the reasons why NBA superstar Kyrie Irving cannot play in Nets games here in New York. However, unvaccinated players can play NBA games here in New York City if they come from other parts of the country. That is where this unilateral policy established by Bill de Blasio makes absolutely no logical sense, because if an unvaccinated player from another team can play inside of Madison Square Garden, then why can't Kyrie Irving, who plays for the Brooklyn Nets, play for his team? And that's where your Adam Silver has a real serious issue with your Eric Adams as related to this policy. However, what your Eric Adams, by responding, is saying that, oh, the mandate is unfair, but the big problem is that he has the power to make things fair, and had the power to make things fair ever since he became the mayor-elect. Unfortunately, your Eric Adams does not have the courage to stand up and be a man on his own, because he fears reprisal from whites, and that is one of the reasons why he kept the policy of jab mandates here in New York, because he did not want to upset other white politicians like Bill de Blasio. Again, this mandate was something that was established unilaterally by Bill de Blasio, and the whole thing could easily be undone if Eric Adams had the courage to stand up and be a black man. Unfortunately, because he fears reprisal from whites from standing up on his own, this is why he allowed this policy to remain in place. Now, your Adams will sit here and make the excuse by saying, oh, he wants to keep people safe, but that is just complete BS, because the whole thing is he's not trying to keep people safe, because as the Omicron wave went on, cases have declined, and the only reason why he's keeping this policy in place is because he doesn't want to keep people safe from COVID. He wants to keep himself safe from being attacked by whites on the left for going out here and acting on his own. This just shows the cowardice of an Eric Adams, but what we're seeing right now as related to Commissioner Adam Silver and his statements is that many of those wealthy on the left are having issues with your Eric Adams, and many of those in big business are having issues with Eric Adams and his cowardice as related to standing behind these white politicians and looking to gain favor from them because he is hurting their bottom line. Now, I find it interesting that your Adam Silver is coming out now that Eric Adams is mayor, but he did not make any of these protests when Bill de Blasio was mayor. So, when the white mayor goes out here and makes a jab mandate and hurts business, it's okay. But when the black mayor goes out here and institute policies, then it's not okay. So it's looking like to me that your Adam Silver and these corporate bosses are trying to make Eric Adams the bad guy. And sadly, this is what happens when you go out here and support policies that a white man makes. White supremacy makes you the fall guy. Now, your Eric Adams, trying to go out here and be the cream of wheat man bootlick, is trying to gain favor with white politicians, hoping to gain access to a higher position. But what he doesn't know about the subtleties of a political situation is that most of those politicians get their money from big business. And if you go out here and you mess with big business by continuing to support the policies of a failed politician like a Bill de Blasio, what's going to happen is you're going to wind up not being able to get the support you need as related to any sort of further political office. So what your Eric Adams doesn't know is that he's shooting himself in the foot right now by keeping this jab mandate in place and keeping many big businesses like the NBA from being able to profit, and other businesses like Hollywood movie studios and businesses like local restaurants. Many of those business owners go out here and contribute campaign money to politicians, and when they look at Eric Adams continuing to hold on to a failed policy like these jab mandates, what they're seeing is somebody that they don't want to fund and somebody they don't want to support in the next election. And that's what's flying over the head of the cream of wheat man as related to his continuing insistence on holding on to these jab mandates is, ironically, he's alienating many of the same people he's going out here to bootlick. And those people are now really looking at him and seeing somebody that they consider to be someone they saw as weak and don't respect. And that's why the media is slowly starting to turn the message against your Eric Adams, which was shown to me just as recent as yesterday when there were reports going out here questioning why Adams continues to hold on to these jab mandates while cities like Washington, D.C. and Philadelphia are ending these policies, and they are now making reports out here demonizing Adams, and Adams sadly cannot connect the dots and see that he's going out here and is starting to alienate a lot of those big time political donors who were the ones out here going out here and would possibly finance his campaign for the higher office he aspires to. He doesn't understand that he's made a lot of enemies out here, but this was by design because Bill de Blasio basically set him up, and because your Eric Adams is so caught up in his feelings about trying to gain the favor of white politicians, he could not see the subtleties of the political situation as related to the chess moves that were made right in front of him. By supporting de Blasio's jab mandate, he basically made some serious wrong moves, and those wrong moves are the ones that are going to wind up making it where he will not be able to gain any sort of support for political office outside of being a one-term mayor of New York City, or possibly may even be a one-year mayor, because He is by going out here and again siding along with Bill de Blasio's mandates, he has made it where he is somebody nobody sees as an effective leader. Because while he says the mandates are unfair, he again has the power to easily make things fair by going out here and easily just rescinding these mandates and ending this executive order. Your Eric Adams has all the power to change things, but he does not have the courage or the conviction to change things because he's waiting for a white person to go out here and tell him when it's okay. And that really shows the weakness of your Eric Adams, who came out with a lot of bluster talking about how he was going to change things, but he shows us how weak he is because the only way he can change things is if a white man tells him to change things. That is not a leader in any way, shape, or form. No, that is a wimp, and that's what your Eric Adams is, and that's why people are looking at Eric Adams here in New York, and they're starting to lose respect for him. Because while he came out and talked a good game back when he was running for office, we are seeing by his actions that he cannot go out here and play the political game that he thought that he said that he could play. He went out here and said, "Oh, I'm out here looking to make change," but he doesn't have the courage to go out here and make a basic change as related to a jab mandate that is hurting businesses here in New York, including big ones like the NBA. And that really is showing how weak a leader he is, because again, while he sits there and calls it unfair, again, you have the power to change things, but instead of taking the power, you go out here and deflect. And that really shows me how he doesn't have the courage to take responsibility for anything, because if I were mayor of New York, there would be no jab mandates here in New York, and people would have been able to go about their business, and your Kyrie Irving would be playing right now, because these mandates were never a good policy. All they did was hurt struggling business here in New York, and they really did not even stop the spread of the virus here in New York. In fact, while these mandates were in place that kept people from even working on a job or children from able to go to certain places, the Omicron wave was big, continued to spread, showing the complete failure of these policies. But your Eric Adams continues to let these policies remain in place, even though the cases have dropped here in New York, and we're down to about 5% here in New York overall. But because your Eric Adams is a 100% bootleg, he doesn't have the courage to go out here and stand up like a man. And if you cannot stand up as a black man without a white man standing behind you, you're a weak black male overall, because a black man can stand up and make decisions on his own, and he can make those decisions on his own because he's not looking to gain favor and approval from whites. But that's what your Eric Adams wants, but he doesn't understand he's alienating another group of whites who have tremendous economic and political power. Because if your NBA Commissioner Adam Silver is calling you out and business owners are calling you out, it may only be a matter of time before the cream of wheat man Eric Adams is out of office as mayor of New York. Now, if you want to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. And if you want to pick up some of my positive black fiction on the SJS Direct imprint, you can buy all of those books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find them on Smashwords, the iBookstore, and Google Play. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Isis, Revenge of the Cyber Goddess. The goddess next door takes on the threat of a deadly digital diva driven to destroy the world in this action-packed, all-new Isis series adventure. Get Isis, Revenge of the Cyber Goddess featuring a bonus pin-up and the other 2 books in the Cyber Goddess saga at online booksellers everywhere today.